All right, good evening. I'm going to call the closed session to order at 5 o'clock. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on any correspondence received for closed session?
We do not.
All right, we're going to, City Council will now recess to closed session at 5 o'clock and 15 seconds. live from Menifee. It's Wednesday night. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Madam Clerk, have we received any correspondence on tonight's agenda?
No, we have not.
All right, Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Dinas?
Here.
Councilmember Diedrich?
Here.
Councilmember Temple?
Here.
Acting Mayor Carwin?
Here.
And Mayor Estrada is absent.
All right, now we have Xavier Padilla with there you are, way in the back, from the Menifee Union School District Board. Come to the podium, please, and provide us some words of inspiration.
All right. First, I want to go ahead and welcome everybody here tonight. Acting Mayor Bob, Carwin, our City Council, everybody at the dais, and again our guests that are here tonight. I first want to say I'm humbled that I was asked to do words of inspiration here for the city of Menifee. I am a current trustee at the school board for the Menifee district. I'm also a school counselor at Liberty High School, and I've been in education for 30 years, since 1996. But I am truly humbled to be here tonight to be asked to speak. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And I didn't want to come up here and just wing it. I think to be asked to do words of inspiration is something very important. So I thought long and hard and asked myself, what is something that is inspirational and impactful? And I thought about our children. That is inspirational and impactful. So I wanted to go ahead and give some words of inspiration about our children. Whether you are a council member, whether you are a school board member, whether you are, a parent, no matter who you are, an adult, what we do in life is very impactful for our children. How we act, how we behave, the decisions that we make are truly impactful to our kids. They're watching us. And I wanted to go ahead and read to you a quote from a famous child psychologist, from the gentleman called Haim Ginott. That's how I pronounce his name. If you pronounce it differently, my apologies. But this gentleman was a child psychologist who was born in 1922, and we still speak of him today. And he was famous for his beliefs about children. He even had a best-selling book, and he was even a regular psychologist on the Today Show back in the time. But I loved one of his statements about children. And what I did was I grabbed his quote that I'm going to read to you today as words of inspiration, and I changed it just a little bit. I added some of my own verbiage, but I want to give him, Haim, the credit that he deserves, because these are his words for the most part. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start. I've come to the conclusion that I am the decisive element in a child's life. It's my personal approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. As an adult, I possess a tremendous power to make a child's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of hate or an instrument of inspiration to a child. I can humiliate a child or heal a child. In all situations, it is my response as an adult that decides whether a child's situation will be escalated or de-escalated, and a child humanized or dehumanized. We are here for our kids, and what we do and what we say. I hope that when we make decisions, whether as a parent, as a council member, as a school board member, or as anybody just out there, that when we make our decisions, that we make it for the betterment of our current children for today and for the children of our future, because that's why we are here. We're here for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trustee Padilla. And before we move on, I just want to announce really quickly, if anybody is interested in doing words of inspiration for our city council meetings, please contact our clerk's office. We'd love to have some new voices, just like Trustee Padilla. Doesn't have to be a member of clergy. Anybody in the community who thinks they can come and inspire us, we're more than happy to hear from you. Please contact the clerk's office. All right. I see in the audience our former First Lady, Julie Zimmerman. Would you please lead us in the flag salute? Thank you. Now, we had a closed session right before this, so I'll ask our city attorney, anything to report out of closed session tonight?
No, Mayor, not tonight.
Thank you very much. Council, please join me in the front of the dais for tonight's presentation. All right, so tonight's presentation is the Citizen of the Month, as selected. This month's selection was by our Mayor, Ricky Estrada. Please welcome up Pastor Aisha Sharp. It's Aisha B. Sharp. We don't want you confused with somebody else, like you could be. So you were selected by our Mayor, Ricky Estrada, who, if you don't know, isn't here because he's serving his military service. He's a United States Air Force reservist, and he's been called to active duty. But he, from afar, thought of you and wanted to recognize you as our Citizen of the Month. So I'm going to pass the mic around so people can say nice things about you. We're going to start over here with Councilmember Dan Temple.
Thanks. You know, not enough nice things can be said about you, Pastor Sharp. You have really enhanced our community by being involved in so many different things. And I think that stems from your life that started quite a few years ago, married to a Marine, and being so focused on military matters and families, especially of those deployed, and now working with the Interfaith Council and all the different aspects that you touch within the city. You have enhanced our city, you have served our city so well, and I think Mayor Estrada chose a wonderful person to be honored this month. So, well done, we honor you today. Ben Dietrich.
Pastor Sharp, it's been wonderful getting to know you over the last several months, seeing you around. You're everywhere, right? You do so much for the community. You're always present, always helpful, always making your opinion known, right? And so we truly appreciate all that you do, your family service, your continuing service to the community. It just means so much, and it was a wonderful choice by our mayor. So thank you, Pastor Sharp. I'll pass it over now to Dan. Dean.
Well, congratulations. I had a great choice. You know, when I first met you, it was regarding the veterans issues and things like that. So, and I don't know how many people know, but you have a passion for serving our veteran community. Like Dan said, you're married to a Marine, so kudos to you for that. But you've taken that and you've gone, and the things you do for a community, you start your own nonprofit to help, you know, with those that need things and stuff. So it's, and then I've been finding you showing up everywhere now. You know, if there's a community event, there you are. So I think you've embraced our community, and I hope we've embraced you and the good things that you're doing for our community. So congratulations.
Thank you. So I know you're probably going to mention it yourself, but your ministry, leadership ministry, is just killing it out there. And we always enjoy it when you come up and give us words of inspiration to your regular fixture over here for us at city council meetings. And you do throw a heck of a birthday party, I will tell you that. Had a chance to go to her 70th birthday party, and it was fantastic. The DJ wasn't too bad either. So just, you're a part of our community, and that's really the most important factor for me in a Citizen of the Month. Somebody who's really become a part of the community, and you're becoming synonymous with the name of Menifee. So really appreciate it. And to honor you, we've got this certificate for you, and I'll read it out loud. It says, in recognition of your participation in city council meetings and community-wide events, your selfless commitment, willingness to give your personal time, and efforts to develop leadership through the Lead Your Ship ministries, the City Council commends you. As a dedicated military spouse, you have provided morale support for veterans in the city of Menifee at veteran events and offered words of encouragement to their family members. Thank you for helping make Menifee a premier place to be. That's for you. And we'd love to hear a couple of words from you. I mentioned a couple. I used that word on purpose. When you hear the clerk say, Pastor Sharp, your 3 minutes are up.
But he gave a pastor a mic, okay? I'm just saying. First of all, I do want to thank our mayor who is deployed, and thank you for thinking about me wherever you are, because you won't tell.
He's probably right there.
I know. And I just want to thank my board. I want to thank everybody that serves with me, and I want to thank my family, all my family that's sitting out there, my pastor's wife and my family members. They have all supported me in my endeavors in this city. I just thank God for them, because fundraising isn't easy, but they help me do it, and they help me succeed in the things that I believe in this city. And so as long as I live in the city of Menifee, I will have my feet on the ground, and I will continue to work and serve our community. Thank you for this honor. I appreciate it.
We're going to grab a picture. Phil's going to take our picture here, and then we're going to do another picture when your supporters can come on up, and we'll be with everybody, okay?
Thank you.
All right, everybody's here to support. Why don't you come up and get a group picture? Here we go. Hey, before we take this picture, I was just handed a note from our mayor, and I'd like to read it out for you. It says, it is an honor to recognize Pastor Aisha Sharp as Citizen of the Month. Pastor Sharp has shown unwavering dedication to the city of Menifee through her involvement in city council meetings, citywide events, and support of local nonprofit organizations. She consistently offers words of encouragement and hope, uplifting residents and strengthening our community. As a military spouse, she also provides meaningful support to veterans and their families. Her selfless service and commitment have made a lasting, positive impact on the city of Menifee. Signed, Mayor Ricky Estrada. All right, we can return to the dais for the next presentation. Well, all right, moving on in our agenda. Our next presentation is an introduction of CAL FIRE, Riverside County Fire Department Fire Chief Robert Fish and Division Chief Dustin Reed. Could I please ask Chief Fish to come to the podium?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, thank you for allowing me to introduce myself. Robert Fish, I'm the new appointed County Fire Chief. I have the pleasure and the pride of serving as both the Riverside County Fire Chief and the CAL FIRE Unit Chief. I replaced Bill Weiser, who retired after 44 years. Really, I'm here just to introduce myself to yourselves in the city. I would say that Menifee is an extraordinarily important member of our county fire department, and we value you. and we want to be partners with you and listen to your needs and meet you. We are working very hard to facilitate that. One of the other things I'd like to relay is that many of the men and women who serve you here in the community are not only servants in the community, but also residents in the community. They value working here in the city and the relationships they have with the city. I'd also like to say thank you to the city manager, who has been very gracious and extended his time to me. We've had a chance to meet a few times and had very valuable conversations. I appreciate his insights and his guidance, and I look forward to having a great relationship with you all and the city. So, Justin, thank you.
Welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting claps, but I could get used to that. So, thank you.
Dustin, you going to say anything? Sure. Not going to let you off that easy.
Mayor, wherever you are, Mayor Pro Tem, council, staff, members of the community. First off, I'd like to thank the mayor. I just found out tonight that he is on active service, so if he's listening, thank you for your service. Also, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I am truly honored to be a part of this team and to be the new fire chief for Menifee City. I look forward to becoming an integral part of the city's team and contributing to a strong winning culture, as I know you guys have already created here. Most importantly, I'm committed to working collaboratively with the city of Menifee, with our firefighters, city leadership, and the community to build a bright and resilient future for the city of Menifee going forward. It's a privilege to serve this community, and I am excited of what we will accomplish in the future going together. Thank you.
Welcome aboard to both of you. Thank you very much for being here tonight and for saying hello. We really appreciate that. All right. Moving on to our Community Services Monthly Update. Community Services Manager Gabby Cow. Welcome.
Hello and good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. I'll be here to provide the monthly updates for the Community Services Department. I don't have a clicker up here. Can you please change the next slide? Okay. To start off, I want to go over the various senior and veteran services and programs that are taking place at the KSNS Senior Center. First off, we have our monthly food box that will be taking place at La Ladera Park next Thursday. On the same day, we'll be hosting a resource table for veteran comprehensive support, resources, outreach, and advocacy. That resource table will be hosted by our Riverside County Department of Veteran Services. This is free to our active duty members, our veterans, as well as dependents. Next, we have a unique experience called the Portrait Experience coming to the KSNS Senior Center. We are partnering up with Crowned by Jen Nicole Photography. We'll have a professional photographer on site to take senior portraits at the center. Digital images will be provided for free, and seniors are able to purchase printed photos in addition to that. Next, we are partnering with Miller Jones Menifee Memorial Park to offer the Prepare Today for Tomorrow workshop. Presenters and resources at this workshop will cover topics such as mortuary planning, elder law, and right sizing. As you can see, we have various free workshops and resource tables for our veterans at least once a month, if not twice a month. Our flyer and our information is available on our website as well as at the KSNS Senior Center. Moving on to our youth programs, as a reminder, we have our monthly Teen Hangout program taking place on February 27th. This is for youth in 6th to 12th grade. The theme for this night will be Cafe Night and a Valentine's Day craft. As a reminder to save the date, our youth fair is coming up on March 21st at Lazy Creek Park. This event is free and is open to all of our youth and families. Our Mighty Me program will have its monthly social this Friday. For our youth, at 5:30, they will have a Valentine's craft night. And for our adults, at 7 p.m., they'll be enjoying a Sweethearts dance. Next is our sports and Healthy Menifee updates. Our sports team is wrapping up our youth basketball season. It's been going great so far, and we're just getting ready for championship games. Additionally, on our Healthy Menifee front, we have our Get Fit program, which is a free program for ages 8 and up, taking place on March 4th. And the March theme is March into Strength, which is a full body workout. We encourage all of our families to come join us for that.
And
Next
all of
is-
these events are at the Lazy Creek Recreation Center?
Our youth programs are at the Lazy Creek Recreation Center, including Mighty Me, as far as Get Fit, that will take place at various locations, and Cooking with Kids will take place at Lazy Creek Recreation Center. And with the Cooking with Kids, we do have 2 offerings on March 16th and 18th. As you can see, we have a delicious recipe ready for our youth ages 7 to 12, and we have 2 time options available as well. Additionally, we wanted to remind everyone that we are actively recruiting for our aquatics program. So for our lifeguards, our water safety instructors, and pool manager positions. So whether we have youth and adults that have certifications or are looking to get their certification and have a competitive swimming background, we do encourage you to apply. And after a very brief recess, we'll be kickstarting all of our events, as you can see. To start off, we have our first art affair of the year in celebration of Black History Month. This will take place on Friday, February 20th at the KSNSR Senior Center. After that, we have our bulky item drop-off. This is also the first of the year, first of the 4 that we offer. On February 21st, this will take place at MSJC. It will start at 8 a.m., and we do encourage residents to get in line early because we will close once bins are full. Next is our annual Ready, Set, Future. This is open to middle school and high school students and their families. This takes place at Lazy Creek Recreation Center on February 28th. We will have college and career booths, whether that's exploring colleges, trade school options, or the military. We'll also have different learning sessions such as resume and interview skills, and financial literacy and fun activities. This also is a free event with food available for the first 75 teens in attendance. Next, just as a save the date, we have our Good Morning Nature program returning with our amazing park rangers. That will be taking place on select Fridays, and we'll have additional promotional material ready for that shortly. And on March 14th, we will have our Wildlife Appreciation Day, also hosted by our park rangers. This will be our first event that will kind of kickstart some of the events that will be taking place at the Civic Center Plaza, located right next to Central Park. We'll have traveling tide pools there, wild wonders, so a lot of different animals and a lot of agencies from the area as well to provide additional resources and really inspire our youth to become the stewards of tomorrow. We will have some food available for purchase, and then for our first 120 attendees, we'll be offering free saplings as well. In addition to that, because we will be back at the Central Park area and the plaza, in case you missed it, our Christmas tree has landed. If you didn't get a chance to catch that on social media, the full video is available on YouTube as well. It is Menifee's new Christmas tree. It is a 53-foot deodar cedar tree weighing at over 60,000 pounds. And it will serve as the focal point for our new Civic Center Plaza. As you can tell, we are very excited about it, especially our in-house arborist and park manager. And I know that the rest of the city is looking forward to what will come as well. And then just as a final reminder, we have transitioned over to our new recreation and reservation software. It's called RecTech. So we encourage our residents to go ahead and create an account. It is very easy to create, very easy to maneuver through. But of course, if there are any questions, they are more than welcome to reach out to our department to help troubleshoot any issues and walk them through the process. Our spring programs beginning in March are available for registration already. And that is all I have for you today.
Thank you for that report and update. I appreciate it. Council members, do we have any questions for Community Services? Seeing none, thank you very much. Take the rest of the night off. Madam Clerk, do we have any modifications to tonight's agenda?
No, we do not.
All right, so can I ask City Council for an all in favor to approve the agenda? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next up, item number 7, public comments on non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments on non-agenda items?
Yes, there are.
We do. All right, so I will read the following disclaimer. This is the time for members of the public to address the council about items which are not listed on the agenda. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the council's ability to respond to comments on non-agendized matters at the time the comments are made. So each speaker will be allotted up to 3 minutes on any single item. And just in case you don't understand what that means, a lot of people come up there and they ask us questions, and then we stare at them and they wonder why we're not answering them. We're not allowed to answer you because it cuts into your 3 minutes, so that's why. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first speaker?
Pete Bollinger, followed by Sandra Halstead.
Hello, Mayor. Hello, Council. This is probably a little bit unusual, but I felt compelled to be here. So, a year ago yesterday, my world stopped. My baby girl passed away in her sleep. As you can imagine, it's been a very difficult year, horrible year. Chelsea was the best, but she believed all of you were too, and that's why I'm here, to explain to you that she respected the council, the mayor, city manager, all of you so much. She respected people willing to put it on the line. And, you know, it's that every decision you make a few enemies, and next decision you make a few more. Well, don't worry, because you'll run out of people soon, and you won't have to worry about it. But she respected you guys so much. And so she loved the city. She loved her coworkers. And I was touched yesterday. It was a bad day, as you can imagine. Woke up devastated. And then I got a text from Gabby, who you're amazing, Gabby. She has been the liaison for all of you and kept in contact with the family. And she invited me to a luncheon that they held in Chelsea's honor. And I walked in and I saw about 25 people, and I had to go compose myself in the corner. Thank you, Gabby. You're amazing. What you do is amazing. And she would often say that this is a family, that the city is a family. And I was lucky enough to work for the city of Santa Ana for 25 years, and it was much like this city back then. Everybody is close, everybody is compassionate, everybody wants the best for the citizens. You can see it. You can see the city's beautiful. You honor the military with the placards up. Everything you guys do is for us, and she knew that. And I was lucky enough to, you know, be in her company and hear all these things about all of you. I don't know many of your names, but I know a lot of stories. And that's really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to say thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bollinger. We do remember Chelsea. Remember her fondly. Thank you for keeping her memory alive here at City Council. Next speaker, please.
Sandra Halstead, followed by Sandy Stickney.
I'm Sandy Stickney, and Sandra wasn't going to speak, just I was going to speak. Is that okay if I go?
Yeah, that's
You want to skip her? That's fine.
She wasn't going to speak. They told her to fill out the paper. So.
Fair enough. We're not going to compel her to speak if she doesn't want to. You please come over to the podium. Why don't you tell us your name again into the microphone?
My name is Sandy Stickney, and thank you for letting me speak tonight. Thank you, Mayor and council members. My thoughts tonight are on our road and waste management. We live in an area that the city of Menifee does not maintain the roads. We are on a dirt roads. To my understanding, any neighbors I do know out in that area on dirt roads will not get service by Waste Management due to safety reasons. So this happens a lot whenever it rains, and right now, winter, we get more rain. So like this current situation, our normal trash day is on Wednesday. Last Wednesday never got picked up. It's Wednesday again. It's not going to get picked up until next Wednesday, maybe, if the rains all stop and maybe the road looks okay. We don't get a discount unless you call and complain to Waste Management that they missed the pickup and you ask for a credit. So we're paying a 3-month at a time fee to get trash pickup. City of Menifee does contract with Waste Management and no other trash company. And I guess I was just wondering what we could do, to help our situation out on the dirt roads. Could the city of Menifee maintain those roads better? Before it was the city of Menifee, I've lived out here since 1982. The county would service those roads like 3 or 4 times a year, would just come and grade all those roads, a big tractor. And now barely we'll see any tractor service. Or could city of Menifee talk with Waste Management, maybe work out a solution of getting a smaller truck with actual men or women too, if they're working for the Waste Management, jump out, dump the trash like they used to into the smaller trucks, so we can get our service every week. The trash builds up, the lids start lifting, the trash is spilling out, the crows are getting it, the dogs are getting it, the cats are getting it. It's unsightly and it's unsanitary. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. And I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there somebody around who can get her contact information? Thank you. We'll have somebody hook you up with Waste Management, and we'll get that moved along for you. Any other speakers?
Yes, Hyacinth McNevin.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. I know you said one topic, but I have a few. I won't go over 3 minutes, I promise. First, I'd like to say congratulations to Pastor Sharp. I wish you had a small bio on her and on this sheet, because I know nothing about her and all her great works or her contact information. So as a veteran, I think that would have been nice. Or also for people who don't know her and what she's done. So I think that was a misstep on the county part. Also, on January, the beginning of January, I came to the meeting. It said online that there was supposed to be a meeting. Nobody was here, nobody answered the door. There were people in the office. I had to knock, get their attention, and they still didn't want to come out and tell me, even if you're not going to have a meeting because life happens, put a sign up on the door. So we're not wondering, are we having a meeting or you're not having a meeting? It's as simple as that. I live in District 2 on Copper Ridge Road. I've brought this to the attention to the county before. On Lindenberger Road, there's a bridge. There are no lights. There are no bike lanes. There are kids that walk there every day for school, and when the weather changes, it's dark. And kids now with their e-bikes, they're zipping through there. They don't have lights. Some of them don't even have helmets. So we need some kind of lighting. We need some kind of bike lane. And when it rains, the kids are actually riding in the street because where the water builds up. So not just for the kids, for us also. There are a lot of pedestrian walkers now because of all the housing area. So we need some kind of safety done over there. Also, I would like to recommend that we have some kind of community bike events, because since now there's a lot of bike riders, so maybe a bike ride or an El Tour de Menifee for the Tri-City area that we have. And we need more bike lanes. And if the city can arrange for some kind of bike safety course for especially the young riders, and a bicycle maintenance course, maybe if monthly or quarterly, because there are so many bikers right now. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Good suggestions all. Next speaker?
We have no more speakers.
No more speakers. All right. Well, this is the time for City Council to provide any updates or comments on meetings and events they have attended. So I'm going to start at the far right with Councilmember Diedrich.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Since our last meeting, I've attended a few events. On February 10th, I was proud to represent the city over at Santa Rosa Academy to acknowledge the spelling bee winners there, from moving on now to the county competition. Later that night, also was able to attend the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Mixer. That was a great event with a great turnout. Always happy to see how successful the chamber is being lately. The following morning, I represented the city for the Paris High School Student of the Month ceremony. And just always so impressive seeing those kids and getting honored and what they're all doing. Later that night, attended the Audie Murphy Ranch Skate Park Community Input Meeting. Not as great of attendance as I would have liked to see, but I think we got some good feedback there. And then on the 12th, attended the Riverside County Habitat Conservation Agency Board meeting. I'm the alternate on that committee and was able to go up to Riverside and attend that meeting. That's all I have to report from this meeting.
Thank you for that report. Councilmember Temple.
Since our last meeting, I attended a Cal Cities conference in the city of Beaumont. And what was significant about that was we had representatives from all of our legislators that serve this area who spoke on either pending bills or bills that are in committee right now that would have a financial effect upon Riverside County and upon Menifee. So that was a very enlightening meeting, and that is all I've done.
Thank you. Alternate Presiding Officer Dinas.
Well, thank you. On the 13th, I attended the ribbon cutting for the Hans Christensen Academy.
You've said it correctly.
I know. I think, and we were told at the ribbon cutting that it's not Hans, it's Hans. So
Hans Christian Andersen was the author. Hans Christensen is a resident of Menifee.
I remember that. That's one thing I got out of it. See, go to school, you learn something. And on that same day, I attended a ribbon cutting for the Onyx Wellness Club, a new wellness club down there off of Scott Road. And then earlier today, the acting mayor and myself attended the annual meeting with Congressman Calvert. We were able to brag a little bit about Menifee and to tell him what some of our high priorities are, so we could be able to ask for some federal funds. That's all I have.
Thank you for that report. I'll go down my list here. I was thrilled to attend the ribbon cutting for the MSJC new Math and Science building, the STEM building over there. It's a beautiful facility. They're really expanding that campus. I got to throw out the first pitch at the Menifee girls softball ceremony up at Marion Ashley Park. That was a good time. Councilmember Diedrich was there. As a proud dad over there. I coach in all my spare time, I coach the Paloma Valley mock trial team at the high school there, and we had our final round. Paloma Wildcats went 2-2 in the tournament. It was a good turnout this year, good result. I had a town hall, the first ever acting mayor's town hall right here in the chambers. It was if you missed it, it was last Monday. If you missed it, it's available on the City of Menifee YouTube channel. You can watch it. It's about an hour-long presentation. You can see the whole thing. It was broadcast, so a lot of good questions answered there. And I'll announce that we're going to be scheduling a series of town halls. Each council member is going to do one in their district, and we're working on that schedule and the locations, and we'll make sure everybody knows about those. I attended our community partners meeting where our community leaders all tell us what's going on. I am the member of our Riverside County Transportation Commission Executive Committee. I attended the Executive Committee board meeting, and we learned that revenues are down across the board. TUMF is down 25%. So they're anticipating some slowdowns in development. I also learned that the Elsinore-Ethonac Expressway, as of today, has no plans after the interchange that's being built there. As far as connecting it up, so Ethonac's supposed to connect 215 to 15. They're about to do the interchange, but beyond that, right now, no plans on the map. And then the Smart Freeway project, which is happening through Temecula, they're coordinating the on and off ramps so they all work together with letting cars go 123, 123 to slow traffic. That's going to go online in May, and they're going to run that for a year to test it out. It's a first of its kind in this area, and to see if they're going to roll it out throughout the state. Then I attended the WRCOG Admin and Finance Committee. Again, we had to amend the budget because revenues are down from slowing development. So that's what's happening at the county. Not here in Menifee, county level. I also attended the WRCOG Policy Ad Hoc Committee, which for some reason I volunteered for. Had a Rotary meeting. I was at the Hans Christensen Academy ribbon cutting. So what they were doing is Hans Christensen is a middle school right now, and they're expanding it out TK through 8. And they're going to be doing Pathways to Life, real programming and things like that. They've got a media studio and things like that. It's a fantastic program. And then finished off earlier today with a meeting with Congressman Ken Calvert to tell him about some of our infrastructure needs. If you don't know, he's the chair of the House Appropriations Committee. He was here in our chambers today, so we are telling the person in charge of putting things on the federal budget what we need. Pretty good pipeline for us. All right, and that's all I have. So now we move on to, there are 2 sets of minutes for council's consideration. Does the council have any modifications to the 2 sets of minutes from the February 4th regular and special meetings? Seeing none, I can ask for an all in favor of approving those 2 sets of minutes. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Those minutes are approved. We are now at the consent calendar. All matters on the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a council member requests a separate action on a specific item on the consent calendar. If an item is removed from the consent calendar, it will be discussed individually and acted upon separately. Madam Clerk, any requests to speak on the consent calendar?
We do not.
All right. Are there any items that council would like to pull from the consent calendar for separate discussion? Seeing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
So moved. Second.
That passes 4-0. Skip a couple of pages in my agenda here. Okay, so there are no public hearing items this evening. When I became acting mayor, I demanded no public hearing items at any time until Mayor Estrada comes back. So I'm keeping my promise to the people to do nothing at all.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Moving on. Our first meeting when Mayor Estrada comes back is going to be 17 hours. I will be on a cruise. Next up is item number 12, discussion items. This says that there are no items on our discussion agenda, but yet there is 12.1. Are we skipping it or are we having it? Okay, good. I see people standing up here. So item number 12.1 is a fire services review follow-up. Assistant Manager Brian Jones and former Menifee Chief Lonnie Olson is here. Would you please present the item?
Sure. If we can have the presentation up on the screen. So a conversation and a topic that we've been discussing for about a year in open sessions is the City of Menifee Fire Services contract with Riverside County Fire Department and CAL FIRE. And so we are here to follow up on that as requested by City Council. And a little history on this, back in September, it was a council requested item to come and review the cooperative agreement with between the City of Menifee and the County of Riverside. We talked about the fire protection and fire marshal services. We talked about the fire service models and operation options for consideration. And then we were given direction to have conversations with Riverside County and CAL FIRE and follow back up within 60 days. During that 60-day time period, we had conversations with then Chief Bill Weiser and the executive team for Riverside County Fire Department, including, I believe, Chief Pemberton was involved in that. And we received a letter back, which is in your staff report or packet, and we were to come back around December 2nd or 3rd council meeting. But we had, the City of Paris had then taken us up on our offer for mediation of the lawsuit on some of the challenges. And so council asked us to come back in February after we went through that mediation effort, and so here we are back in February. We did have those meetings with Riverside County Fire. They followed it up with a letter on November 14th, and they referred back to the standards of cover for the community risk assessment, provided additional context on the assistance given and received data, including the time spent in the various agencies and departments from the apparatus serving us versus Paris and Wildemar. And then they gives an update on the neighboring cities' progress. And tonight we have, what is your official title?
Deputy Chief.
Deputy Chief Lonnie Olson at CAL FIRE in the Riverside County unit, who oversees the western part of the district. And so, or the county. He's going to be sharing a little bit about the progress that the neighboring agencies have made, as well as some of the improvements that have been made and the work that we're doing together. And so, and one of those is the Citygate contract. And just so you know, we've already been reached out to by the Citygate consultants, and we're structuring a meeting to meet with them to talk about this. So, but he's going to describe the Citygate process a little bit in greater detail.
Good evening, Council. Always great to be back in Menifee. So the standards of cover, one of the main things that we heard from the Council is you wanted a plan. You wanted to see what are we doing to fix some of your concerns as well as those concerns within the county. This is the major part of our plan. This is going to pull the curtain back on our fire department and have somebody as a third party come and do an evaluation and look at our insides and decide what can we do to be better on all things. Financially, our response model, what are the things we need to do to improve our public safety performance as a fire department as a whole. So as it says, in May of 2025, we went into contract with Citygate Associates to perform that evaluation. And you can see some of the highlighted items up there that they're going to be looking into. Service delivery, that's going to look at analysis, including our population growth and how we can deliver that service level better. Cost allocation methodology, which comes back to that question you're having about parity and fairness for City of Menifee's investing heavy in its resources. Do we have a methodology that we can keep pace with to make sure that that is a fair process for all of our city partners and the county? Current station locations, are we being strategic enough, and what should be our standards on how we develop and the information we provide to our city partners on where should you be putting fire stations to make sure that that is a sound and efficient investment in what you're doing. And then distribution and deployment of apparatus. We have a response model that we put into place as a standard response plan. What things can we do to improve that system and create cost efficiencies as well as provide better public service to the community? And we're going to engage the community. What does the community expect of its fire service? And find out feedback from our community on what are their expectations for the fire service. We can sit here and go with what legacy we know, but we want to hear from the community on what is the performance level that they expect from us. And then we're going to review our historical performance and find if there's ways that from the lessons of the past, if there's ways that we can improve the future. And then as Mr. Jones stated, we're going to have them reach out to all of our city partners, and they've already reached out to start coordinating a meeting with you so they can hear directly from you on what your concerns are. And if the city should so choose, if there's things that aren't covered within our scope of work, the city can talk directly with Citygate to get additional information on things that they would choose to want included in a study. Next slide. So some of the progress that's been made for the city of Paris, we temporarily opened a fire station just north of Ethonac Road to take some of that relief and obligation off of the Sun City Fire Station. And then they've already gone into plans to build a permanent station kind of near Ethonac Marietta Road would be the best location I can give you in that general vicinity. And then for the city of Wildemar, they are actively in property negotiations to find a spot on that northeast corner of their city to provide better services over there. And then a part of that plan, we started this quite a while ago, as you can see, and some of the things that we've done to create system improvements, not only to make more parity between the cities, but also overall system improvements to create a more efficient, cost-effective system. So in May of 2023, the fire department entered with the other county services, social services, and all of those into a program called Rivco One. So the way I would look at that, and something that I've had multiple conversations with the city manager about, are Public safety is expensive. What are some things we can do to offset those costs and provide some other services that don't require us to put 1 million fire engines on the road? This is kind of the foundation of that plan for us, amongst other services in partnership with like the Department of Social Services. If somebody is on a fixed income and they don't have a car, they don't have a way to go pick up their medications, right now their only healthcare system is the 911 system. Who has access to their houses on a daily basis and finds out that the problems that they're having? The fire department does. We show up and we help them on a daily basis. Can we take that data, respect their privacy, but find better solutions in the system that don't require them to call 911 and obligate our equipment that could be used for more critical calls? So that's kind of the fire department side of that system. In January of '24, the city of Paris did put a medic squad into play, and I think you see in the letter from the county, you can see the difference over those 2 fiscal years, that as they started to put those additional investments in fire services, we've started to bridge that gap. And we're not done yet, and that's why we reacted to the city's request, and we've now got the temporary fire station to even bring that more level, more quicker, addressing hopefully some of your concerns. And they put a second one in at their Paris station. So both of their fire stations now have medic squads, as well as a truck at one and a fire engine at the other. We were accredited as a 911 dispatch center. We are the only dispatch center in Riverside County to receive that accreditation. That's a national accreditation from a third-party service that looks at our performance. So our dispatchers do bleeding control over the phone. It's a part of that 0-minute response that we talk about. They do childbirth over the phone. They deliver emergency messages if somebody's trapped in a house, and give them instructions on how to protect themselves and lock themselves in a room and what to do. And they have certain bars and parameters. They're very specific, like quality improvement process that our dispatchers have to go through, and this third-party service evaluates to make sure that we maintain that high-level service. What that buys us as a fire department is confidence in modifying our responses. So you can see we did an implementation of our triage system and changed some of our responses to create an availability of our fire resources for more critical calls. So that would include AMR only going to some of the low-level calls, as well as where we maybe were sending 2 pieces of equipment before where we weren't sure. Now with that triage system, we're able to only have to send one and leave the other one available for other services. The standards of cover was then put into play in May of 2025. We got the contract for that. Like I said, pull the curtain back and look at all of those concerns that you guys have brought to us. Nurse navigation is an exciting new tool that has come to us and that we're using now. That is the availability when you call 911. Sometimes people don't necessarily need to be transported by an ambulance, but they're looking for another outlet or a service that can be either telehealth, or maybe instead of a very expensive ambulance ride, we can get them an Uber to an urgent care. That doesn't need to happen immediately and tie up not only our ambulances, but our fire engines. And we're starting to see great success in that system. Now, we're being very careful as we deploy both of those, the triage system and nurse navigation, in that we're doing more of a crawl, run, walk, right? We're only allowing a certain amount of calls, and anything where we're not sure right now, we're holding close to the vest. Over time, that system will increase. I can tell you between those 2 systems for 2025, that offloaded 1,700 calls off of the city of Menifee. So creating that's 1,700 times more an additional resource was available within the city of Menifee for the next 911 call. So those are the kind of things that we're doing as a plan to create better customer service in the city. And then, as we spoke about earlier, the city of Paris has funded and started towards construction of a fire station that's supposed to begin in April of 2026. On top of that, that'll be Station 105, and then up there it says Poroy. It's actually going to be called the Washington Station. General area, Washington and Keller is where the station's going to go on the north end of French Valley. That fire engine is in service. The fire station is not open yet, so it is currently doubled up at the Glen Oaks Fire Station. Into March, beginning of April, we plan to have that fire station open and in service, and that actually will have first due services to the far southeast corner of the city of Menifee. They will actually start servicing that area, so we'll have quicker response times into that area. That's all I have. I did want to mention the public safety report that you guys have as an item and that you received. If you look at that, it does not show a change in the service. We reacted fast to get that fire station in play. Our CAD dispatch system we have to be very specific to go in and draw those geographical lines. So it does not show that new Fire Station 105 in there, so it's still using the legacy data. But that's not what's going on. I've looked at the hours, and I can tell you that obligation has flipped the other direction in the service, so. That concludes my report, if you have any questions.
Thank you for that. Deputy Chief Olson?
And then just to conclude up, the next steps for options for consideration, the original thing was, request from the city council was to commence a feasibility study to evaluate alternatives to fire service delivery models. And so option one would be to defer that and continue to provide additional information that can be used to inform the next steps, or direct staff to initiate a request for proposals for fire service feasibility. And that's option two. And of course, you can also create a third option if you so choose.
Thank you. Is that the conclusion of the presentation?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, now we open it up to questions from City Council of staff or our presenters. Do we have any questions? Councilmember Dynas.
Question, the City Gates study is underway right now, correct? Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah, what is planned to be finished and formalized?
Summer of 2026.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? No? Hearing none. Do we have any requests to speak?
No, we do not.
All right. So we don't need to open the public hearing because it's a discussion item. So at this point, it's our time to discuss. We've got two options that we're being asked to decide between. Option one is defer the feasibility study. Option two is direct city staff to initiate requests for proposals. So do we have any comments on that? Go right ahead.
Yeah, since we've brought this to the attention of the fire department and the county of, some of the inequity, as it were, that was happening, the fire department and the county's been working hard to rectify that. And we've had a big change now with a new fire chief and a study going on right now. I think it would, in my opinion, be better off to postpone this until at least next summer when the report's finished and see what is changing. I think that'd be the most prudent and financially feasible way of going about it before we start doing our own feasibility study on something we don't even know what it's going to look like come next summer.
Yeah, I would agree with Dean. I noted and appreciated the optimistic tone by Chief Fish. I appreciated that very much, of the efforts being made to continue the service to our city, but also resolve this issue that we have. So I did appreciate that, as well as Deputy Chief Olson's comments. So I agree with Dean to table this for a time.
Councilmember Diedrich, do you have comments?
I'll just add to what's being said that, efforts are obviously being made and are being seen, and I think more data is always useful. So with the result of the study coming out in the summer, I think that makes sense to revisit it back at that time.
Right. I want to reiterate that our request for a feasibility study to start that conversation had nothing to do with the quality of service that CAL FIRE was providing. The quality has always been there. It was more just a matter of, do we keep dumping resources into Paris's fire department, is kind of how it felt. And we weren't getting any responsiveness from leadership for a long time to our requests. And now we've got new leadership who's got a new eye on things, and it seems like there's some things being done. The nurse option is just spectacular. I love the idea of being able to get people transported without using the equipment and use it for more emergency. I mean, just that kind of innovative thinking is that being done anywhere else? Like, did we model that after another jurisdiction?
It is being done in other locations. We're currently the only dispatch center in Riverside County doing it, and it is in partnership with County EMD and GMR, who is the lead company for AMR.
I love being the first city to do stuff. So yeah, I think based on the responsiveness, the fresh new responsiveness that we're getting, combined with the continued excellent support, and I will also make the public thank you to Paris for being responsive on their end as well by adding that fire station, the temporary station there, and moving forward on their project for a permanent fire station. We really appreciate their partnership in solving this problem as well. So I think we've got a consensus on option number 1. Does that give enough direction to the city? All right, we don't need to take a vote on it, do we, Mr. Melching? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes the item. Item number 12.2 is the Strategic Plan Implementation Update. Assistant Manager Rebecca Kramer, would you please introduce the item?
Well, thank you, Acting Mayor Carwin, members of the City Council, and public that have joined us this evening. Pleased to be able to introduce Jennifer Jackson. She's our Senior Management Analyst for the City Executive Office. She's going to be providing our biannual update on the implementation efforts for our 5-year strategic plan. As we enter the end of the 3-year mark for the 5-year plan that is currently in place. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Jennifer. Thank you.
Good evening, Acting Mayor, Council, citizens, and staff. I am here to provide a mid-year update on the implementation of the strategic plan. The update summarizes the activities from July 1st of 25 through December 31st of 2025. So first, a little background. As Rebecca mentioned, we're ending year 3 and entering into year 4 of our 5-year plan. Hard to believe. The plan was last updated in June of 2025. The 5 priorities are listed on the screen, and the implementation plan tracks the progress and is the living document that moves us from planning to doing. And we've been doing a lot of doing over the last 6 months. So first, we've got connectivity and mobility. The Bradley Road Bridge is under construction, as we know, and kicked off in August of 2025. Construction is on schedule with project completion anticipated in fall of 26. Once completed, the bridge will greatly improve north-south connectivity and increasing response times for first responders. 19 capital improvement projects are in progress. Project types are listed there and different phases as well. Once completed, these projects will provide additional connectivity and mobility choices to mitigate congestion across the city. A few of the major transportation projects on the list: McCall Boulevard and the I-215 interchange, Scott Road, Bundy Canyon Road widening, Garbani Road, I-215 interchange, and of course, it includes the Bradley Road Bridge as well. So next, we've been working towards developing and defining our unique identity. As you know, the Placemaking Unique Identity and Tourism Master Plan was adopted in November of 2025. Key takeaways as listed, we identified our 5 pillars of unique identity, recognition of MSJC as our community anchor. We've identified a need for a city epicenter and key identity anchor. And our 4 signature event opportunities were identified. Now that the plan has been adopted, Economic Development and Community Services staff have been engaged in discussions on how to bring these findings and recommendations to life. Excuse me. Next, community engagement and social infrastructure. Under the completed column, we highlight some of the city's various communication and engagement efforts during the reporting period. Looking towards the future, several projects are currently in progress throughout the city that are specifically designed to support community connectivity by providing physical spaces to gather. Our thriving economy. Various drivers are supporting and advancing the city's goal for a thriving economy. These include new retail and low barrier entry for home-based small businesses, investment confidence indicated by the amount of development in entitlement, data-driven planning efforts such as the SEDS and Urban 3 study, and operational efficiency such as the temporary use permit streamlined process underway. And last but not least, the safe and vibrant community. As the 18th safest city in California for the second year in a row, we continue to increase our safety, security, and community preparedness efforts. And this includes our unique citywide safety master plan process that is now underway. And that concludes my brief presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Excellent report. Does the City Council have any questions for staff regarding this update? No? Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No, we do not.
All right. Any comments from council? No, it's a very comprehensive report. Thank you, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Kramer, for that. This is receive and file, so there's nothing required from us on it. Moving on to 12.3, adoption of the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, or CEDS. Director Charters, welcome to the podium. Would you please introduce the item?
Thank you. Good evening. Acting Mayor, City Council, Kayla Charters, Economic Development Director for the City of Menifee. I'm happy to be here tonight to introduce item 12.3, Menifee's Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. Throughout this presentation, you'll hear us refer to the strategy as a CEDS, which is just the acronym for Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. It's a familiar term for economic development. It is the formality of how the EDA references these economic development strategies. And as you heard from my teammate Jennifer, thriving economy is one of the major pillars from our City Council strategic plan, and that is the purpose of what we're doing here with our CEDS, is to further advance our thriving economy in Menifee. And you'll see here that this strategy will be completing goal 4.A, as well as helping advance creating jobs year over year. In 2019, the City of Menifee adopted our first CEDS, and since then we have achieved a lot of advancements in some of our targeted industries, such as, for example, recently approval of our Kaiser Permanente Medical Office building, the recent open of our Medical Office of Excellence here with Rancho Family Medical. We had opened our first OBGYN clinic here in the Countryside Marketplace, and so we're very proud of the work that we've done over the past 5 years. However, Menifee is very fast growing, so it's very important that we pause, reflect, re-engage our stakeholders to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our community and making sure that we all have the shared vision of what our economic future looks like. And this really ultimately is a formality when it comes to the EDA. Once we have approval of the EDA of our Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, it allows us to apply for EDA funding for up to $3 million and bring that federal funds down to local here in Menifee. This project began about a year ago when we received our $40,000 grant from the EDA to help fund a portion of this project, and we went through our formal RFP process here at the city to select our consultant that we have brought on to help us complete the CEDS. And since then, we've been hard at work creating opportunities for our community to be engaged in part of the process, collecting data and research that put this strategy together. We had partnered with our consultant, RSG, to put the strategy together. They have extensive experience in these type of projects, familiarly with the city of Corona and the city of Carlsbad. And with that, I'm going to be turning it over to our consultants who helped us put together the proposed economic development strategy that you have before you today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Gonzalez, Kevin Ham, and Jenny Benitez.
Thank you, Kayla, and good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a true pleasure for us to be here tonight to present to you your CEDS. And as Kayla mentioned, RSG is a municipal advisory firm that takes great pride in partnering with cities, with counties, to bring forth your economic development goals to essentially create blueprints in a very collaborative process with your community. I am joined here this evening by Kevin Hand, Director, and Jenny Benitez, Senior Analyst, and we've been working closely with your team for the past year. So a little bit about the SETS process. As Kayla mentioned, it's a federally approved document, which means that there's oversight and are some recommendations from the EDA that must be included, some components. The great news is that your city team already operates with this mindset, looking at analytics, looking at data, looking at stakeholder engagement, very cognizant of the core elements that should be part of strategic planning. So it's a very seamless integration. There were 3 main components that we looked at. Economic research and analysis, which allowed us to take a deep dive into labor market, economic indicators, demographic information, and then also couple this with looking at your strategic planning documents to ensure that there would be a goal alignment among the various documents. We also took a very careful, intentional approach to stakeholder community engagement, ensuring that we were providing a very inclusive and transparent process in which various sectors of your community could engage with us, offering workshops, interviews, different formats to accommodate everyone and ensure that their perspectives, their insights could be integrated in this process. Ultimately, the economic research analysis coupled with the stakeholder community engagement led us to strategic planning and implementation, essentially allowing us to put forth some real results-oriented goals with measurable outcomes, which we will discuss in more detail, and which brings us now to the vision.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, Kevin Ham, great to be here this evening. Talking about shaping the vision, this is something that I really enjoy. It's really when we get into the community and start asking questions, it really needs to be crafted by the community and data-based. And I have to say, you guys have hit it right on the mark with this document. We have engaged with the community, both with Spanish workshops, conversations with individuals in your community. We've also had communications with your team, from council to staff. Great conversations to understand the direction we need to go. What is your vision? Where do you want to go? We have had input from regional partners, whether that be a Chamber of Commerce or that might be the community college here. Really having the conversations, understanding where they want to grow, where they see you growing, where the partnerships exist. And then input from the SEDS community. You might have heard me say that this is community crafted and data based. And this SEDS community really was our ears and eyes to help us understand how this document worked, where we needed to go. And so shaping the vision is an intentional process, and here it really worked well, and it was great working with your community. Jessica.
So we can't stress enough the importance of having this be rooted in engagement and research. Ultimately, a blueprint or a plan for the community needs to reflect the needs of the community. And that's exactly what occurred here over the past year, as we were able to engage with different stakeholders, residents, businesses, educational institutions, regional organizations. We held an in-person community workshop last year in July, followed by a virtual workshop in August, and also a workshop held entirely in Spanish. Once again, ensuring that this process would be completely inclusive and transparent. We also conducted a SWOT analysis, looking at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths, really what is inherent to Menifee. Many attributes that allow you to already be a destination of choice. Weaknesses, look at these more like areas of growth. Are there process improvements that can be addressed to even clear the landscape even more for businesses looking to set up shop here? Then we also, of course, have recommendations to create opportunities. How can you leverage resources and partnerships effectively to be able to, once again, expand the draw that Menifee already has created for businesses to come in and set up shop and create employment opportunities? And then threats. Think about these more like external factors. These could be state mandates, federal mandates that are not necessarily under your purview. However, by being a business-friendly, bold, visionary city like yourselves, you already have the mindset to clear some pathways here at Menifee so that you're providing guidance to entrepreneurs and businesses on ways that they can even address those mandates that are outside of your control, but certainly you are providing a very supportive system here. We also looked at economic research and current planning and policy documents. This was a very holistic approach to ensure that the blueprint before you tonight has been rooted in ample engagement and research.
Good evening, Council. Jenny Benitez. Thank you, Jessica and Kevin. I want to reiterate, as they mentioned, this work is deeply rooted in community engagement, and we wanted to speak to the community about strengths and competitive advantages and identify those existing strengths, assets, competitive advantages. Our discussions, the goal was to identify why residents and businesses choose to locate in Menifee and why they choose to stay. And we had great discussions, truly a lot of appreciative comments about the city. But these strengths here on the presentation came up recurringly across different groups. So safety and a welcoming community came up a lot across different groups, very appreciated. Strong market potential and market demand, and a sense and a feeling that there is room to grow businesses in Menifee and industries and that they would be successful. A growing, stable population, strategic location with strong freeway access and a solid regional position, and housing affordability and housing attainability, especially when compared to the broader Southern California region. We also discussed opportunities for growth. Again, with these groups, these were the recurring themes, the recurring opportunities, and there is a theme definitely of locality here. So opportunities include expanding local dining and entertainment, creating buildings and infrastructure that would support business growth, attracting higher wage industries and growing local job options and reducing those longer commutes, and investing in unique recreational assets. And these discussions, really the whole SEDS process, the conversations, the data, the research, the whole process led to these 7 interconnected goals that are really the strong direction of the SEDS. I'm gonna go ahead and read them for you. The goals are build identity through placemaking and strategic development, expand local dining and entertainment options, grow local mortgage-paying jobs, expand office and commercial space, build on Menifee's skilled workforce, advance a business-friendly and entrepreneurial community, and invest in strategic infrastructure with strong economic returns. These goals are explored in detail in the SEDS document, and that draft SEDS before finalization was circulated with the SEDS committee for their review and their comment and approval. It was also posted publicly for 30 days for the public's review and ability to comment. And with today's materials, you'll see the full final draft of the SEDS. Each of these goals is supported with more implementation details, performance measures, specific actions, which we will cover shortly. And I'll pass it to Jessica.
So we can't stress enough. These 7 goals stem directly from our conversations, engagement with your community, as well as the data. It was a very intentional approach. So what you see before you, the 7 goals, what we saw was that they also fall under 2 major pillars: building identity through places and prosperity, and growing careers, skills, and local businesses. These 2 pillars really encapsulate the 7 goals, and these 2 pillars will ensure that you can continue to have one prosperous city. So the first pillar here, building identity through places and prosperity. The focus is for Menifee to build, strengthen identity by creating these unique, a distinct destination where people, businesses, and activities come together. Essentially, it's a location where people want to live, businesses want to come in, invest, people want to work, everyone wants to thrive because Menifee is well positioned to do this. These are the goals that really tie in very nicely to this pillar. Build identity through placemaking and strategic development. This is creating those hubs near those already designated corridors, expanding local dining and entertainment options, ensuring that the people here have access to a diversity of products and services, really expanding their high quality of life. And then also expanding office and commercial space. So think about a business coming in year 1, growing year 2, they're ready year 3 to expand. We want them to expand here in your local community. Then also, of course, investing in strategic infrastructure with strong economic returns. More value per acre, right? This is about creating and aligning your public utility improvements, CIP, to make sure that you are well aligned with future development to ensure that Menifee can be well positioned as it moves forward.
And growing careers, skills, and local businesses. So this focus area, this pillar, is about strengthening a local economy where people can build meaningful careers and grow local businesses, and through that achieve a high quality of life. And under this pillar, you can see the goals: grow local mortgage-paying jobs. This is, of course, about comfortably paying a mortgage and covering those housing costs, but really it's about income prosperity as well, and having those strong incomes that support participation in community life, dining, entertainment. The goal, build on Menifee's skilled workforce that recognizes the talent that lives here. This came up as a strength as well, that Menifee's workforce is skilled and it's diverse, and there is an opportunity to nurture this workforce and connect to job opportunities. And advance a business-friendly and entrepreneurial community, promotes long-term investment, keeps economic activity local, and this pillar really wants to connect jobs, talent, and local opportunity. The action plan. So each goal in the sets is backed by an action plan, which means actionable steps, partnerships, partnership opportunities, performance measures to track and evaluate the progress of the goals, also implementation timelines and estimated cost levels. And the purpose of this is to take the goals from vision to implementation, to add accountability, transparency, and those metrics that turn this plan into a workable roadmap. So each goal has these metrics. And just to add a little more concrete detail to that, here's an example of an action plan. This isn't comprehensive, but it's some of those details that are associated with the goal. So the goal of build identity through placemaking and strategic development, some of the associated actions would be employ the placemaking unique identity in tourism master plan and connect that here to the sets. Activate existing community assets like trails, Menifee's 398 acres of open space, and that can be done by partnering with community groups to host local events and activate the space. Also activating those economic development corridors and districts, and providing housing opportunities for living above or near retail centers, while ensuring that existing neighborhoods are also connected to those centers, really to create that sense of place. And as mentioned, each goal in the sets has an action plan with these details and metrics.
I really appreciated your words of wisdom at the beginning, because what the gentleman was talking about is that we're here for our kids, and it really means we're here for our future, right? And so your vision statement communicates your future, where you want to head, where you expect to end up. And as I read it to you, you'll hear echoes of what you said to us, what we heard from your community. And in reading the document, you'll hear echoes of what this vision statement says about your community and where you want to go. So Menifee will be a thriving city where residents have opportunities to live and work locally, supported by mortgage-paying jobs, diverse industries, and local businesses, and a full range of dining, entertainment, and recreation options that enhance the quality of life and advance Menifee's identity as a distinguished and prosperous destination city. So how the SEDS activates the vision. It provides a roadmap for the Economic Development Department to guide both near-term and long-term strategies. What I really appreciate about what you've done here is you have documents that tie in together, that coordinate together. So for example, I spent some time listening to your last couple of council meetings, and on December 17th, you talked about Urban 3, and I understand how that ties into this. In some of your past council meetings, you've taken actions that really tie into this economic development strategy that allows you to move forward in coordinated action. It identifies infrastructure projects with estimated costs and remaining gaps that you might have. So when you talk about your budget and how you're going to move forward, you can understand how this can fill some of those gaps that you have. It positions Menifee to pursue some of that EDA funding that exists. It clarifies where partnerships can accelerate implementation and investment. And so in economic development, it is all about partnerships and how you work with those partners and how you team together. And so this document helps bring those partners together to the same table and how you can move forward together and who might lead in one area and how the city might lead in another. And it builds a shared direction across the community. So the next steps that you have is the staff recommendation to adopt the SEDS and authorize submittal to the U.S. Economic Development Administration. After submittal, the EDA reviews the SEDS for compliance and completeness. Upon acceptance, Menifee maintains eligibility to pursue EDA funding. And then moving into implementation, the Economic Development Department advances these goals and initiatives. The partnerships, projects, and funding opportunities that are implemented over the next 5 years are clearly stated in this document. So as I close on this part and I hand it over to Jessica, I was counting in the back of the room how many council meetings I've been to. And I've been to almost 1,000. And I have to say tonight, I really appreciate when I hear the sense of community while I was sitting in the back of the room. And it's in a community like this where you can really advance this and move things forward. And so I want to say thank you for myself in working on this. And I'd like to pass it to Jessica so she can close this out.
All right, well, thank you, Council, for being able to hear our presentation tonight. You know, I would sum it up. Your blueprint that's presented for you today, it's really about empowering people and activating spaces. That's really it. And so what we've laid before you has been very intentional. It's been the result of a year-long engagement with your community, having conversations with the leaders that represent various sectors, being able to take a deep dive into the industry makeup of Menifee, understanding growth projections so that we can align, once again, opportunities with your workforce, with your residents. And so what we have for here tonight is really going to help you to advance on that trajectory that you've already provided. You've already provided the landscape for businesses to grow and succeed. This is just that next phase of economic growth. And with that, we're here available for any questions that you might have.
Thank you for that presentation. Council members, this is the time to ask questions of the presenters or staff. Do we have any technical questions on the reports? You know, I have one question. I don't know if this is the purpose of this program, this report, but one of the biggest obstacles we have in our growth is that our results don't match the data, in that businesses look at Menifee and they compare us to other cities that they've gone to where they say, look, here's the metrics that we're looking for. Here's the analytics, the demographics, et cetera, that equal success. And all of those are out the window when it comes to Menifee for some reason. It's the upside down here economically. And is there any part of the action plan that helps us overcome that?
So
we have businesses here that are thriving beyond any explanation, and we need to get that messaging out. Like, for example, I saw under placemaking, you said expand office and commercial space. And the one thing we hear is nobody's building offices anymore, but it's part of this SED. So how do we bridge that gap between the perception and the reality?
Well, it's two-pronged. One, I would say that Menifee is very unique, that we do invest in data to try to combat some of those. For example, the census, which is very outdated by the time we get the information. So we spend we invest in data so that we are armed with the actual information more up to date, so that when we are going out to be the connector for the landowner and the broker and the developer, that we have some up-to-date data that helps dispel some of that reputation that may be going on. And that's really what we're doing in economic development, is we're the connector between all of the different parties. So the city of Menifee is doing that. We are investing in data. And then secondarily, what is being pointed out within our economic development strategy here is that we are trying to create more, but we have those external threats that are outlined as well. So that is the market, that is land costs, that's construction costs, labor costs. Those are all working against us. So that doesn't mean it's impossible, that we're still our efforts are aligning with trying to close the deal and get the job done.
So if I understand correctly, the answer to my question literally is this report. This is the thing we show to people and go, hey, this is how we bridge that gap. So it kind of helps itself by existing.
It's part of it, definitely.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. Any questions? Nope. All right. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
We do not.
We do not. All right. Well, this is a discussion item matter, so we don't need to open the public hearing. Comments from the council on this plan? Anybody need to chime in, or is everybody just satisfied with it? Councilmember Temple.
You know, I'm satisfied with what RSG did, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. And economic development. You know, it's interesting that hope has never been a plan. And I appreciate that the city has focused on this to give direction, as it says in the report, strategic development, give us direction and the ability to move forward as a unit instead of just seeing what happens. So I think this is a very positive thing, and I'm very grateful for it, and I think it's a wonderful report.
Thank you. Councilmember Dynas.
Yeah, I remember 2019 being part of the first SEDS that we did, and we were kind of groundbreaking, as you mentioned, Acting Mayor, being the first one to do it. We were the first city to have one in Southwest Riverside County, and so now this is just a continuation of it, and I think it's been useful to keep us focused and guided on where we want to go as a city. I think this is going to take us to the next step, but as you said, the external factors of the economy and interest rate and things are kind of holding it back somewhat. But I think once that clears up, I think we'll see some growth, tremendous growth in our city. So the important thing is, what kind of growth do we want? How do we guide it? How do we make sure it's the right businesses in the right place that meet our residents' wants and needs? So I think this is just another tool to make sure that happens. And so I think it's well worth the investment to do that, to make sure that we're just not shooting from the hip and just like, we'll put it over here, we'll put that one over here, and next thing you know, we have a mess. But I think this gives us a good start and good guidelines for how our city is going to grow.
One of the things I like about this report, the actual report, so we were seeing slides tonight, it wasn't the actual report. The actual report's 57 pages. It really helps show the residents that we're looking for a diversification of development, because people focus on warehouse logistics centers, that kind of thing, because those are all in the news. But this goes to show that that's not what we're pinning our future on. We've got this diversity of needs here: local dining, office commercial, jobs, those kinds of things. Part of the action plan that I noticed is something that we've really been trying to, which is to go slightly vertical with our buildings, as opposed to everything just being one story, or the live above concept for our economic development corridors. And those are all incorporated in here. So hopefully the development community will take notice of this and start bringing us creative items that shows that's what we're looking for. This really helps us go, see, this is what we're talking about. Most importantly, I think it helps us be consistent in our message to the development community on, hey, here's what we're looking for, bring us this, know this before you come to us, and I think that's really a helpful roadmap. Other comments before we close out the item?
I'll just chime in that I think, it confirms the strategies and the wants and the needs of both city council and the residents here, right? I think it really shows people, this is what we're looking for, right? And now, ultimately, it's just how do we get there, right? It's staff, buckling down and making this actually happen for us and getting these projects that we're looking for. And I think this is the right tool. It gives us the data that we need to show them, and now we just need to get to that next step. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate the data too in there. But my favorite part of this is the action plan. I love that section in each of the sections because it really shows that there is a way to implement it, and here's what we need to do to get there. And that's always been my focus because a lot of this stuff is like, duh. Right, we hired consultants to tell us that we need to bring in entertainment and dining options. Well, Facebook told me that, but how do we do it? And I think the action plan there is the data compilation and the application of that data to those needs. And that's really the biggest value of this report for me. So any other comments before we close it out? Can I get a motion and a second to adopt the SEDS?
I'll move.
And that item passes 4-0. All right, moving on. Mr. City Attorney, anything to report?
No, not tonight, Mayor.
Fair enough. Mr. City Manager, anything to report?
Nothing.
Does the City Council have any requests for future agenda items? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you. Good night, Menifee.